Hello everyone and welcome back to Tartan Samurai Gaming. And today, one of my all-time favourites, Streets of Rage 2. We previously played Streets of Rage on the channel, and I think this game is a real step up. Streets of Rage 1 is an excellent game, but Streets of Rage 2 outdoes it in every way imaginable. So today we're going to do a playthrough of the game, and here's just a brief rundown of the story. Mr. X, who we thought had been taken out permanently at the end of the first game, has come back, and he has ambitions to take over the city. So Axel and Blaze return from the first game. Adam has unfortunately been kidnapped, so he's not going to be there, but his younger brother Skate is here, as is their friend Max, who is a wrestler and the big hitter of the game. So we are going to do a playthrough today with Max, because my personal favourite character in the game. So let's get into it. Just quickly check my options. I'm going to give myself 5 lives, okay, because I haven't played this for a while. But I will play it on normal, so it's not too easy. Okay, and here we go. So, Max doesn't have the speed or the jump, but he does have the power. So, that's what I'm looking for. The music for this game is absolutely incredible. Yuzo Koshiro's finest, in my opinion. Quick extra life at the start of the level there. And fun fact, these thugs are called Galia. That is actually a mistranslation from Japanese. They were supposed to be called Garcia, but well, Japanese doesn't have a distinction between L and R in their alphabet, and also having the main villain have a Hispanic name was kinda problematic even back in the 90s. So they just left it as Galia, which is pretty nondescript. And Max can take out enemies in, 2 or 3 hits, whereas normal characters would need a full combo. So he really is an absolute powerhouse of a character. The sprites in this game are much bigger and much more beautifully animated than the first game. I mean, the first Streets of Rage was excellent for 1991, but by this point, 18 months later, things had advanced, and well, you can see the results. This looks absolutely incredible. Sega originally initiated the Streets of Rage series because they wanted their own version of Final Fight, which at the time was a Nintendo exclusive. But in the end up, I think they finally got that with Streets of Rage 2, which is, in my opinion, even better than Final Fight. So there you go. Now, once per level, you'll meet a enemy with a unique name. In that case, it was Altet, and taking down that enemy will give you 10,000 extra points, which we got there and has now bumped our lives up to 7. So we are in very good shape at the moment. Although Max is not a fast character, his sliding attack is an excellent way to quickly close the distance. And we have a little mini boss here, Jack, who we are going to do a backbreaker on. And let's do another one. And a quick one more suplex to finish, and we're on to the second section of level 1. Again, the music here is brilliant. This has got you know, this is supposed to be just like a backroom bar, and the music really does have that kind of a sort of a soft jazz feel to it, which really helps to enhance the atmosphere. It's one of the few video game soundtracks that you can quite genuinely just have playing in the background while you're doing anything and really enjoy it. It's especially the Mega Drive, because the Mega Drive was noted for its issues with sound, and this is one of the games that really got the maximum out of the system. The barman there is looking a bit suspicious, and of course he's running off because we're going to fight him in a minute after we take out this Electra lady, who is of course an iteration of the whip carrying enemies from Streets of Rage 1, but this time the whip has electrical damage and she also has quite a nasty flying kick. And now we move on to the level 1 boss, who was the aforementioned bartender. Now that bin there will give us full health, but we don't want that yet because we've only got a little bit of damage. Pretty simple boss this. He, you know, just a combination of normal combos and throws will take him down. Let's have a nice big back. Well, can't quite get him lined up for the backbreaker, but a suplex will do the trick. And the level is complete. We didn't need the health, as it turns out. And another extra life. We move up to 8. Level 1 is just a kind of a taster, really. It's from level 2 onwards that things start to get a little bit more difficult. But, you know, generally speaking, Streets of Rage 2 is, in my opinion anyway, a lot easier than Streets of Rage 1. It's just a much smoother, more enjoyable experience, to be honest. And again, that's not to disparage Streets of Rage 1, it's an excellent game, but like I say, Streets of Rage 2 just kicks it up every level, and particularly with the difficulty curve. You know, playing it on normal feels like normal. You've got hard and hardest in it. If you really want to be a maniac about it, you've got mania difficulty, which to this day I still haven't beat. That's a real beat that and you truly are a master of Streets of Rage. And this guy will keep coming back until we knock him off his bike. What you want to do there, if you time it right, when you suplex one enemy, you can put them straight into one of the bikers, as we did there. The only problem here is that when you grab an enemy, you will drop your weapon, and if you drop a weapon 3 times, it'll disappear, like it did there. Well-timed jump attack is the easiest way to take down one of those. And some health there, just at the right time. Again, the spacing out of power-ups here is much like Streets of Rage 1. It's excellent. You feel like the power-ups are arriving just at the moment that you're going to need them. Oh, some of these bikers throw grenades, as you saw there, and their bikes will also explode after a time. So just be careful. This bike will self-destruct, as Inspector Gadget would say. I'm gonna pick up my chicken here and my point bonus. Now we face off against the upgraded version of the ninja enemies from Streets of Rage 1. See here they've got more of a samurai look to them. They're still not that difficult to take out, but you've got to watch out for their sort of a fireball attack. And of course, once he's down, the crowd decide to get involved. but it's not too much for our hero. He can handle it. And on we go. And we're approaching the boss here. And I just realised there was an extra life behind that truck, but I forgot about it. But I think it'll be okay. Now this boss can be difficult if you don't know his attack pattern. Luckily I've got the attack pattern memorised, so it should be pretty straightforward as long as he's not going to be unreasonable about it. So here he is. Now when he does that diving attack, you just try and get out of the way and jump kick him. Like so. Now put some space between you and him so that when he does attack you can just charge. Now here, just keep him at distance, he'll do the dive and then you just punch him. Very simple. He basically knocks himself out there. On to level 3. Love the music for this stage. You're in a kind of a theme park stroke arcade. And, yeah, it's got that lovely sort of a fun feel to it, this music. Again, just really conveys the atmosphere of where you are brilliantly. I keep going on about it, but I cannot praise the work of Yuzo Koshiro enough. The man is an absolute musical genius. You notice there the arcade machines say Bare Knuckle, and there are posters on the wall saying BK2, because that was the name of this game in Japan. Streets of Rage was known as Bare Knuckle, but for Western audiences they wanted to give it something a bit more cinematic, so they called it Streets of Rage. Because Bare Knuckle does kind of sound like it kind of sounds like the title of a kung fu movie, whereas Streets of Rage sounds more like a Charles Bronson movie, which I think is what they were going for. And time for a backbreaker. Again, BT, one of those enemies with an unusual name, and he gave us 10,000 points. So, same as Streets of Rage 1, when you get thrown, hold B and C and down until you land, and you can tech the throw, if you time it right. Not guaranteed. Again, knife enemies, as soon as you see them, you want to take them out, because they are a pain. Which is why I'm going to backbreak him, just because he annoyed me. We are flying through these levels right now, but I'm sure we will hit a roadblock at some point. I haven't played this for a couple of years, but I have played Streets of Rage Remake, which is an excellent addition to the series. And it's too bad that Sega never officially sanctioned it. They really should have hired those guys to make a game of their own. But it plays very similar to Streets of Rage 2, with elements of Streets of Rage 3. And of course, I played Streets of Rage 4 for the PS5, which was outstanding. Really is 50-50 which is better, that or Turtle Shredder's Revenge, in terms of like recent retro style beat 'em ups. We will do playthroughs of both of them at some point. And, they're not strictly speaking retro games, but they are in a retro style, so I think we can do that. Besides, my channel, I'll make the rules. And we have a katana. And now we're back in the theme park, but we're about to enter the ghost train ride. Hence the monument of a multi-eyed monster here, just to kind of emphasise that we're going somewhere scary. And I used a special attack there for the first time, Max's shoulder charge, which will drain some of your health, but if it connects it will drain a lot more of the enemy's health. So it's a trade-off, but I think a worthy one. Besides, there are health pickups quite early on in this section. Like, right at the start of it. I forgot about that in all honesty. Oh, another katana. Lovely. Unlike Streets of Rage 1, where you could only throw the knife, all weapons can be thrown in this game, so hence why I decided to throw that katana blade at the oncoming enemies there. Because in all honesty, some of Max's attacks are actually more powerful than a weapon would be, so you're sometimes better off not having the weapon. Again, the key to success in these kind of games is just to try and keep all the enemies in front of you at all times. They will try and weave their way around behind you. Don't let them do it. Just keep them in front. And when they try to move behind you, you just grab them or you change direction. A little sub-boss here. Pretty simple. Just hit him as he comes towards you, but watch out for the recoil. And he's down. But that was not the main boss. The main boss is still to come after we take care of this ninja. And here is the boss, Zamza, who looks a little bit like Blanca from Street Fighter, but, with sharp claws. So the trick is just not to be drawn in by his attacks, just keep your distance, and when he moves, counter. Pretty simple, really. See, I made the mistake of being drawn into an attack there. Not to worry, he's almost down. I am going to pick up that health though, just for a bit of insurance. I think what we'll do is a little shoulder barge to finish. There we go. Level 3 is clear. Stage 4, the stadium. Sega Stadium, nonetheless. We'll ignore the fact that they've recycled the background from level 3 because the rest of the stage is gorgeous to look at, so... Little caption there saying, "It's like poo." When you live in Japan for a few years, you come to realise that lovely country, but they do have some rather creative uses for English, and a lot of it doesn't always make sense. Do baseball is another one there you can see. But then again, I have worked as an English teacher here for a long time, so that is partially my fault, I suppose. Again, here is the enemy with the unusual name, U3, gives us 10,000 points. One more hit should do it. There we go. And onward. We're now going into the stadium proper. Funny, one thing I haven't done in Japan yet is go to a baseball game. We'll have to rectify that in the near future. Although, part of Japan I live in, there are no professional baseball teams anywhere around, so probably have to go down to Tokyo for that. Again, reference to Be Knuckle 2 on the scoreboard there. This is a health, no, the next one's a health pickup, but we're going to leave it for the time being. No, sorry, I do apologise. There's a health pickup here in a second, I seem to remember. And that's what you've got to watch out for. Electro Whip can be very damaging. Just take our extra health here. Again, lost a little bit of energy there, but the whip would have done a lot more damage had it connected, so worthy trade-off, I think. We are coming up on the midway point of the level. But first we're going to take care of this guy, and thankfully he's a lot easier here than he was in Streets of Rage 1. He does periodically use the fireball attack, but actually he does that belly flop attack a lot more often. And this time he can be thrown, although that is something that would change for Streets of Rage 3. Okay. And now we move into the first of 3 obligatory lift elevator levels, because every scrolling beat 'em up needs to have at least one of those. We're about to lose our first life here, but that's okay. We are well ahead of schedule. It's very satisfying in these games when you can do that sort of a juggle, you know, pull off an attack that then hits multiple enemies. Yeah, first life down. Won't be long till we get another one, I'm sure. And we get to reacquaint ourselves with an old friend from Streets of Rage 1 at the end of this level, in terms of the boss, but I'll save that surprise for when we get there. Enemy difficulty is just starting to peak up a little bit here. I do like that exaggerated karate noise that the samurai guys make as they come flying down at you. Okay, and we are now at the bottom. Now my energy is pretty low, so I'm going to grab the health here immediately if I can, if the boss will let me. And we're in some sort of pit fight here, and look who it is, it's the Ultimate Warrior. Well wait, no it isn't, for copyright reasons. Oh Sega, that was what you were so good at, was copying other people's ideas and iterating on them. I'll be generous. Whoops, tried to combo there and didn't quite land it. That's what you have to be aware of with this guy. If you try and grab him, he will either slam you like that, or he will do his breaker attack, which is that one. So I'm just gonna shoulder barge him here, and again, job done. Got a little bit careless there, shouldn't have lost that life, but that's okay. Stage 5. Once again, we're on a boat. This is the first stage where one of the level bosses comes back as a regular villain. You'll see in a moment we're going to fight another version of the level 1 boss. This one packs a bit more of a punch. Wait for the enemy to come to you and just hit him as he lands. My energy is low, so I want to try and keep the enemies at arm's length here until I can find a power up. Notice that the movement speed of the enemies has gone up a little bit as well. You do gain back a modicum of health between each scene, but chicken do the job much better. And there is the level 1 boss. He's back, and he's now called Wayne. Don't bother partying on, Wayne. Congratulations if you got that reference. And he's down. Moving on to the next scene. And we're now at the top of the deck. So, not long now till the boss, and another extra life. Lovely. For 350,000. So again, with this guy, wait for him to move and then... Probably better I leave the weapon down for the time being because the weapon will just slow me down. And speed is of the essence when you're fighting this guy. Oh dear. Not to worry. Oh dear. Ow, that's gonna hurt. There we go. Again, like most boss enemies, it's not the boss himself that's the problem, it's the fodder around him that sneak in cheap hits while you're trying to hit the boss. When it's just a one-on-one fight, it's not that difficult. So we'll just get him to keep repeating his attack here. Oh dear. Got lured in there. Right, come on you. There we go. Oh, missed. One more time. And he's down. And some health. Right on cue. Excellent. The boss of this level is quite a difficult one, so might drop a life or two there. Watch these guys in the background because they will throw grenades, and if you're quick enough you can pick up the grenades and throw them, but personally I don't think it's worth the risk. Whoops. Yep, difficulty's definitely starting to pick up a little bit here, but we're okay, I think. We haven't actually reached the boss yet, but we will momentarily as soon as we take care of this rotund fellow. I'm gonna have to move down here to get some health. Oh dear, cheap shot. Again, the special move not only does damage, but it also works as an excellent breaker if a boss is trying to combo you like that. And he's down. Moving on now to level 6. So now we're going to the beach. Bit of a shorter level this one, but you still have to be careful. Particularly the second part of it, you can come unstuck there if you're not on your toes. That ninja there is basically the equivalent of a knife guy, you know, spinning about with his little shuriken there. And we will fight some Thai boxers in a minute and get some pretty powerful kicks on them, so we need to be careful. Done. Yeah, these guys are difficult. Fighting 3 of them at the same time is hard, but luckily they don't have particularly high health pools, so you can take them down fairly quickly. The trick is trying to get them individually. There we go, nice little flying elbow to finish. And we move on to the second part. And this is where things can get a little crazy. We got these guys, and we're going to have some bikers in a minute, and other general enemies that kind of become a nuisance. Watch out for the drop kicks. Watch yourself here. When there's a big cluster of enemies like that, you can be hitting one and another one will just launch into an attack. I'm going to let him come on screen so I can get a proper shot at him. On the earlier levels, characters that are off screen will tend to just walk into your attacks, but as we advance through the levels and the AI becomes a bit more intelligent, they will often jab at you from off screen, so it's just safer to try and lure them back onto the screen before you launch any attacks. It's quite satisfying when an enemy laughs at you, then you just smack him right in the chin before he can finish. Oh, another life down, but we're okay. The only frustrating thing with this guy is if you hit him as he's about to launch into his jump attack, you don't get to do the full combo, so it takes a little bit longer than I would like to knock him out. And he does that kind of slapping thing as well, which is annoying, but he's down now, and we're on to almost the boss. He's got some vipers now. It's a nice touch, you give all the enemies names, kind of adds a little bit of personality to them. And you notice themes, you know, the bikers are all named after weather patterns. These women all have kind of a vaguely sort of a, you know, unusual names, but definitely feminine. You know, it's just nice, there's nice little themes going on there. I am losing quite a few lives here, as I thought I might. Just with the sheer volume of enemies we're facing off against here. And she's down. And it's boss time. And this time it's actually a team up of 2 previous bosses. So it's a level 3 boss and a level 2 boss. But as you can see, it's a level 3 boss, is the one with all the energy, but we will take out Flyboy here first of all, just to make it a bit easier. Ah, perfect. He tried to block my charging attack and it just ripped right through him. Excellent. And we are on to level 7. Again, great music on this level. It's a munitions factory, and it's got that kind of industrial sort of a hard rock edge to it, the music, but with some sort of modern European synth going on as well. Again, you know, there's so much variety to the music. It's kind of cute, that sort of a dropping bomb noise that the big guy makes as he enters. Out for Grenade Man there, because that can get nasty. I'm going to get right out of the way of that, just to be safe. Yeah, keep them at arm's length here is probably the best idea, because there's a lot of enemies that will come at you quite suddenly here. We are on the penultimate level after all. And there's a 1-up, so we are essentially back where we started in terms of lives, so that's good. Oh, there's a full health pickup, lovely. We want to knock that shuriken out of his hand as soon as possible. Come on. That wasn't very fair. The whip there. Removing floor pads here are actually kind of helping her, because it allows her to attack from a further range. There we go. Now, and we can now clear the level. And we're on to the second of our 3 lift elevator levels. And I am just gonna... Oh dear, I'm not. I was saying I'm going to pick up that health power up immediately, but I guess I'm not. I will save that for later on, because it's not going anywhere, because the entire level takes place on this same platform until we get to the boss. This is basically just a more difficult version of the level 7 in Streets of Rage 1, if you remember, with again the lift going up towards Mr. X's headquarters. Right, now I think we'll use that chicken. And he's down. Moving on. moving up again. I think we've only got maybe 2 or 3 levels to go, so we're almost there. Again, these TIE boxers are not that hard on their own. It's when they attack in a group and they're backed up by other order enemies that they cause you problems. Like that. I made the classic mistake there of getting caught between 2 different enemies. That's the thing about Streets of Rage, you know, the whole series. Games are challenging, but they never feel unfair. When you lose a life, it's usually because of a very easily identifiable mistake that you've made. That's proper game difficulty for me. Games that feel difficult but not unfair. Not just difficulty for difficulty's sake. You know, that's why I'm not really a fan of games like Dark Souls or whatever, because to me, that's not really becoming a better gamer, it's just rote memorization, so you don't walk into the same death trap 5 times in a row, you know? It's not fun. It's just, I like games where you can feel yourself getting a bit better every time you play it. That's the kind of feeling I get with games like this. We got another extra life there, and up here is the boss. Or I should say bosses, because there's 2 of them. A couple of robots. Now be careful when their eyes start flashing, because that means they're about to launch one of their laser beams at you. The grey one is almost down. Again, once one of them goes down, it becomes a lot easier to fight solo. Not a particularly difficult boss, it's just one where you have to just keep on your toes and watch for your opportunities to strike. Again, if you're patient, the boss will actually move towards you and give you the opportunity. And on to level 8, the final level. And well, Mr. X, he might be an international criminal mastermind, but he does have pretty good taste in office chairs, I'll give him that. Just as a reminder that this is the last level, right away you're fighting the boss of the last level as a regular villain. And another boss thrown in for good measure. I want to keep this guy at distance as much as you can, so weapons are ideal for this, because his punching attacks are really powerful, and if he tries that, just use a special move. It is not worth the damage you'll take otherwise. Almost there. And he's down. On to the next section. And this is the third and final elevator lift level. Saying both because apparently I have an almost equal share of audience in the UK and the US, so got to keep both sides of the Atlantic happy. So hello to everybody wherever you are. Please tell me where you are in the comments. I'd love to hear how far my videos are reaching. Not as far as I would like, but give it time, we'll get there. So again, last level, we've got a kind of a boss rush here. As the lift goes up, we're going to fight an escalating array of enemies from previous levels. Not all of them, but just an assortment. But again, like I said in Streets of Rage 1, when you fight the boss on his own, it's a lot easier than when there are other enemies around to act as a distraction. And this time around, of course, they all do have a higher health pool than they did in the original fights, because it is the last level. We don't want to make it too easy for you. Alright, let's get back into it. We'll continue with Max. Oh dear, from 600,000 to 80. That's a bit of a climb down. One more hit should do it. And he's down. Moving on now. Next up will be not the Ultimate Warrior. That breaker attack with annoying regularity, particularly in the last level. So just time your jump attacks here and you'll get him before he has a chance to do anything else. And we've reached the top, Mr. X, but now he has a glamorous assistant, Shiva, who is a very, very tricky customer to fight. And Shiva would later return in Streets of Rage 3 and Streets of Rage 4 as a playable character. Well, an unlockable boss character, I should say. Again, you actually want the boss to try and block you here because it will do more damage. Because when Max does his charge, it's the original immovable force hitting the unstoppable object. Sorry, the immovable object hitting the unstoppable force, I should say. And last boss time, Mr. X. Pretty much the same as Streets of Rage 1, just with it's got a couple of new attacks and a substantially bigger health pool. But nothing we can't handle, especially when we've still got continues left. Not long now, he's down to his last bar of energy. Let's see if we can finish him off in style here. Ah! Just about to do the suplex there. There we go, nice wee slam to finish. Nope, you're down, son. You're not getting back up. And the game is clear. Now let's enjoy the ending. So, with the villain defeated, our heroes can go and rescue their friend. Shout out to Ayano Koshiro in the credits there. Yuzo's sister, who is an excellent game designer in her own right. And there's Adam from Streets of Rage 1 getting rescued. Of course, not forgetting Motohiro Kawashima, who collaborated with Yuzo Koshiro on a number of his musical projects, and a great composer as well. Max and Blaze there, looking pretty cheerful. And our heroes gather to celebrate their victory. At least until Streets of Rage 3, which was about 3 or 4 years later. And little secret here, if you press A, it will show you the number of enemies that you killed. So I got 413 before I lost that first continue. Anyway, that brings today's playthrough to an end. I hope you enjoyed it. And please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all the usual nonsense. And please come back soon. Tartan Samurai Gaming, retro gaming playthroughs uploaded every day. We will see you next time.